Hello and welcome everyone to the
Hello.
monthly Resonite Recap stream. We're covering the month
Yes.
of June. We're gonna go over all of the things that happened in the past month. Well, not quite all of them, but a good number of them. Fruxius, over here we have Bob the Good, our financial officer. We have Nex handling the stream. We have Aegis from our content team, Chroma from content marketing, Theo from video production. So let's get started. We'll essentially go over a number of topics. We do want to kind of highlight some of the big things that happened, but there's a lot of different things that happened over the past month. We closed about 96 GitHub issues. And there's been lots of bug fixes, tweaks, and small additions. You can go to our Discord or you can go to the Steam to check the complete list of changes. So the first big thing that has been added to Resonite is something called Resonite packages. And if you've been using other platforms, you might be familiar with Unity packages, it's essentially a way to package all your data, whether it's assets or items or potentially entire worlds, into a single file that you can then upload somewhere, for example, like a Gumroad. And it lets users to download this file, bring it in, and it essentially brings everything already fully set up. Resonite packages offers similar functionality. At the moment, we don't fully support worlds, but you can bring avatars and pretty much any items very easily. Any item that you can set up within Resonite, you can just export through the file browser as a Resonite package that produces a file that contains absolutely everything needed for that object. All of the assets, all of the protoflags, components, all the textures, everything. You have an option to also include asset variants, which will make the asset load much faster when it's imported, at the cost of the package being a bit bigger. We have a video kind of showcasing this, so we can bring this over. So this kind of showcases how you can both export things. So you literally just select the Resonite package format, and you can bring things back in. And the huge benefit for this is when avatar creators and other just in general creators, when they set their things up within Resonite and then publish the Resonite package, for example, in Gumroad or wherever they publish assets, it makes it much simpler for the users to bring things in, and you'll be able to see at the end of the video how simple it is. So over here, literally all you do is you drag and drop the file, avatars in. That's all you need to do. It's that simple. For example, over here, you have item like the fan. We've already seen a number of creators, publishers, and packages. We definitely hope more people will take advantage of this feature and make it kind of easier to distribute content. It can also be used for other things, for example backups. If you want to save your data locally, you can export them in as a Resonite package. There's a few additions as well. For example, if you set up an avatar, there's simple avatar protection, and you export it as a Resonite package. On import, the avatar protection is automatically mapped to the importing user. So when you're building an avatar and you want to redistribute it, you can set it up in a way that's fully protected. And when the users import it, it's already kind of protected, they literally don't have to do anything. The format also supports protoflex events. So you can listen to an event when package is imported, and you can do additional things, for example, show some dialogue, some configuration options, or whatever you want to do, you can make it happen when the package is imported. The next big thing that's been added is something called worlds data feeds. And what it is, if you remember with our settings UI update, we introduced a concept called data feeds. And it's essentially a completely new way to build user interfaces that's much more efficient, much more flexible, where instead of things kind of being hard-coded, you just provide a template for individual items, and it manages it for you. Because the content team, they have been building on expanding the cloud home and adding some new functionality, we've added a data feed that provides access to your open worlds and open sessions. Well, not just open sessions, ones that are kind of hosted. This lets not just the content team, but everybody in the community, you can now build UIs, for example, a facet that shows, open sessions or the worlds that you have currently open. You can recreate, it doesn't even have to be specifically UIX. You can make it make the objects be physical orbs. where you can make them be pretty much like whatever you want. The data feed provides you with an interface that gives you some basic information, like the name of the world, the thumbnail, how many users are in, and like other information. And then you pretty much do whatever you want with these. There's also like another thing. Our goal is also to use it to rework the Word browser UI. There's one main thing missing. It currently doesn't provide you with access to published worlds, and we don't have data feeds that let you kind of page things. So that's something that will come in the future, and we will use this as a building block to rework the UI. But even right now, it's very useful for building UI that's focused on the open worlds and sessions. It's search aware, which means you can type anything that will filter out the sessions and worlds. It also handles the items for you automatically. So if new sessions are added, if sessions are removed and updated, it makes sure all your templates get properly updated with information, which much makes it the whole process very effortless. This works with the searching as well. So for example, you have a search string and say you type a name, say you want a session to have a word fracture in the name. That will filter out. So you can only see sessions that actually have that in the name, and if the session gets renamed, and for example the word disappears from the name, it's automatically going to get filtered. If the word appears, then it's going to be added back. Everything is handled completely for you. It takes all the complexity of managing it and lets you focus on the UI. We do have Ryuvi, who's working on the official worlds you're in facet. So once it's ready, you'll be able to put it in your dish, put it on the avatar facet anchor, so you can very quickly access whatever worlds you are in and switch between them. There's been some general additions as well. The general data feed system got a little bit more kind of polished and expanded in some areas to allow for what the Word's data feed added. So there's been kind of general improvements as well, which other features in the future will benefit from as well. Oh, one more thing with the Word data feed, you do have a number of other filtering options. So you can, for example, filter sessions by their uptime, access level, and other things. Next, we have the content team additions, and this is part where I'm gonna hand it off to Aegis. So, Aegis, would you tell us what cool things has the content team been up to?
So, first off, yeah, Fruits wanted to mention the worlds you're in facet, but figured lump that in with the data feed. Yes. As of late, the content team has been going through and doing some digital spring cleaning with assets, getting the Blender files of all the modular set for the Dawn system made for people to download and make their own content in that same style, and in a way to kind of archive all that stuff, make sure it's preserved in a way. I know Ryuvi is also working on a new system for modular pieces as well, but the main thing with the data feeds is the settings menu that has been worked on by Ryuvi and Chroma, especially with the icons and a whole bunch of improvements with the UI you did. Yes, I did mention this last office hours. We did move the public form submission form to our system in Nextcloud, just like the same place we made the poll for the feature poll, and that is where people can submit their public folders so that we can look through them and organize them into our essentials folders so that people can share the content in here with other people.
Also, we should mention you're hosting office hours every Wednesday.
Yes.
So if people have more kind of questions for the content team, they can join in the Discord. So next we have we have a new team member. So we have Cyro joining us as our engineering intern. Welcome, Cyro. He's been patiently waiting under the table the whole time. So, welcome, Cyro. He's already been contributing a number of things. You might have noticed in the and listen fire. You might have noticed his name pop up in some of the changes in recent builds. So he's been responsible for some of the cool bug fixes and additions and tweaks. So how are you doing, sir? Do you have a speech prepared?
I don't know if I have a speech per se. I'm a little nervous actually, but I'm really happy to like be here, and like it's honestly a dream come true. Like I've been wanting to do this for so long, and now I get to, and it's very exciting.
We're very excited to have you. Sarah's been like working like on a lot of like mods in the community, so like you've probably like if you were like in the Resonite community, you've probably like seen some of his work, and now he kind of has like opportunity to kind of contribute more directly like to the engine. So we're very like excited like for the step like you'll be able like to make, and very happy kind of the stuff like you've been working on. Should also like mention that like Sarah like you've essentially applied because we do have like a page. We have a page for the kind of applications, like where you can contact us, and like your application was it really like stood out. So we kind of started like the process, and we were able to onboard Sarah as our intern. So thank you very much for joining us, and officially on the stream, like welcome to the team.
Yeah, of course. It's a dream come true. I'm really glad to be here.
We have like one more thing with the content side that we want to mention in the good pets. We are adding translator badges. This took a little bit like to sort out because we were kind of like figuring out like how to kind of like couple it with some things. So we have like some more things to announce with that, but we'll start like assigning everyone like their translator badges because we have a number of people in the community who have been helping to translate Resonite into lots of different languages. Many of them have been kind of contributing very diligently. Sometimes like there's a few cases like where I push like we push like new like English like local strings, and before the build is even done, like some people already translate them like really quick. So we've been very appreciative of people kind of helping make Resonite more accessible, making it more friendly for people from different like languages and cultures, and like the badge is the least thing like we can do. So we'll have some more things like coming with it in the future. We still need to kind of like figure out the details, but the badge should be coming soon. Our next topic, this actually goes to Bob. So
Alright, let's get this trash out of here. So, someone get rid of this old avatar for me. Get that.
Okay, we moved the voluntary high.
Hi, my name is Bob, and I'm here to do a business. Let me get all the wonderful things we've been working on this past month. There's been some exciting developments over the past couple of months. The three main topics to be covered today will be our marketing efforts that have been leading to our growth of the platform, the finances behind an alternative payment provider, as well as some exciting new partnerships we want to announce. Our junior accounting books have not been closed yet. However, I'll be able to provide a Q2 financial overview during the August recap stream, much like I've done in the May recap stream. So let's go to our first slide. This is going to show the users and Patreon subs over time. Growth in the first quarter of the year was slower because our focus was on feature development and UI improvements before beginning to put a serious marketing effort into Resonite. These efforts began in Q2 with the Tavo video releasing end of April, and then the FIA video releasing in the end of May. You can see the trajectory of both new user growth and Patreon subscribers beginning to scale. We had a 30% increase in total users in just 2 months, and a 7% increase in total Patreon subs. Additionally, just an hour ago, the Bloody Resh released his follow-up video about Resonite. Although he's a much smaller YouTuber than Tavo or FIA, his previous video is something like the number 6 most watched video about Resonite. His content is of the highest quality, hence why we reached out to him for a sponsored video. After you're done watching this recap stream, we highly encourage you to watch, like, and share his video with the world to help grow his channel. A link has been posted in the video section on our Discord. Outside of Patreon, supporting people making content is the best way to help grow the Resonite community, as well as supporting the new members that content brings in. So speaking of Patreon, let's move to the next slide. Now, there have been some exciting new developments in our ability to have an alternate payment provider. We've come to agreements on terms with a payment processor called Stripe. The material we have now are engineering challenges. Gaines is the technical lead on the implementation, and future updates on this will flow through him. Currently, from a financial view of the problem, Patreon's cut of our business for consumer revenue is now 14.5%. If we can successfully move many of our users from Patreon to Stripe, we'll see that number going down from 14.5% to about 7%, which is significantly more reasonable. In today's dollars, that translates to being able to support an additional headcount, but it also means increasing our scalability, allowing us to more quickly grow the platform. Furthermore, we will be able to support users that are unable or unwilling to utilize Patreon. When Stripe becomes available, we highly encourage users to make the transition if possible. Remember, we are not dropping Patreon as an option. We are simply making an alternative, more financially efficient option available. Our last topic is an announcement many months in the making on our next slide. Resonite has signed our first 2 partnership deals with VRSys in Austria and Weverse Labs of Japan. I'm going to talk about both of them in a little bit, but let's first talk about why we're excited to work with them. The Resonite team's major focus will always remain on the consumer, but Frux's vision of the Frux engine is the application of this technology to create entire industries, much like what we have done with Metamovie, and they've been kind of building their own industry around that. This is where our partners step in. They will go out into the world on behalf of Yellow Dog Man Studios and evangelize the numerous applications of the technology, making connections with business and governments. They're going to bring in opportunities with those clients to both license our technology and have them finance the development of new features that will benefit the user base as a whole. Examples of use cases include corporate and safety training, 3D scanning of museums and architecture, live production, medical imaging and research, industrial design, and so much more. There are probably more applications that we have not yet imagined than there are ones we've written down on paper, which is like 56 by my last count. Now let's talk about our 2 partners. The first one is our partnership with VRSys of Austria. They've been in the VR space for many years and have a long-standing relationship with many of our staff members. They're working on promoting the Frux engine to governments and businesses, and that has the potential to generate tremendous value for us. Last week, Frux hopped on a train to the Czech Republic, and I flew in from America to meet them in Vienna. They also did a really amazing 3D scan of the 4 of us. That's Frux, Conrad, Sid, and I. I think Frux is going to share that guy with us. Yeah, check this out. And we'll spin this around a little bit so our viewers can see it. So we got all 4 of us, and that's Frux, Conrad, Sid, and I. What's really cool is they utilized a setup that included over 50 cameras simultaneously taking our picture. So major shout out to Sid for building this technology as well as cleaning up the model so we can show it off to you today. Now, YBMS has signed a distributor license with VRSys for German-speaking countries of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and even Liechtenstein, of which we have 10 users. They're bringing to the table a large and a medium-sized opportunity this year with many more in the works. If, over the next couple of years, they can build up their sales team and build out the German market, we could see them as partners that might potentially represent our interests in other European nations as well. More updates to come on what they've been working on in the future. For our other partnership deal, we have Weverse Lab of Japan. Their team members are Jelly, Reboots, and Orange, and Cocoa. They have all done incredible work, not only promoting us in Japan via social media, but have done numerous live performances for major corporations and government agencies. It is largely for this reason that the Japanese community is the second largest in Resonite at 14% of our user base. To support their business model of live performances, as well as consulting work for research and development and creative tooling, we originally signed a commercial use license with them. However, given their ability to build relationships with large organizations, we've set up a distributor license that will allow them to represent our various product lines throughout Japan. They already have some very interesting opportunities in the works. Now that we have channel sales partners for Europe and Japan, we are turning our focus towards having conversations with American entities. In the future, we will be making announcements and updates to our websites with more information on how to become a channel sales partner. That's all I have for this month. Please stay tuned for further updates and be sure to catch us for next month's Q2 financials overview.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. This is really good and comprehensive overview, and we're very happy to partner with both VRCs and WeAwares. With and it gets set on fire. We're very excited to see what happens. Plus, a lot of this will help support Resonite as a platform going forward, making more versatile, making applicable for lots of different applications outside of just the consumer one. So with this topic over, I think we should be ready to open things to questions from the chat.
We got one from Zionite. They said, "Is there ideas for in-game modeling?"
Yes. There's a few things we can already do, and actually, Aegis is probably one of the really good people to would you want to talk about it a bit?
Yeah, ideas for in-game modeling. I do know you describe having mesh manipulation.
Yes.
Within Resonite.
So one of the things on our roadmap, at some point we want to add so you can do pretty much complete mesh editing on vertex level and build tools on top of that. That's something in the future. But even right now, there's a number of tools. We have a good set of procedural meshes. We have stuff a set of brushes and brush tools. And we even had some people, Aegis included, build some tools for primitive 3D modeling. So there's a number of things we can already do, with that kind of modeling, and there's a lot more options we want to add in the future.
I do also know that you were talking about mesh triangulation, which would allow things for SVG to mesh in here as well, or other more complex procedural meshes.
Yeah. We definitely want to keep expanding on the procedural meshes and building our library of functions for working with things. Do I want to give this one a demo, because I think this is a cool showcase on what it can do. So this is a tool that you have built completely inside of here. This is actually using some of the procedural meshes for triangles, and it lets you build mesh piece by piece.
With the parameters of a triangle mesh, you can manipulate each point, each vertex color of each point, and also I copied it over to get a mirror effect and a quad placement effect too, where it's placing two triangles at once.
What I really find impressive about this tool is you actually build this in game yourself.
Yes.
So this is not something that's even provided in the code base of Resonite. This is what anybody in the community can build, and we've seen other people make tools. One of the recent entries in the Metaverse Maker contest, there was a tool called Juicer, and it's also a form of mesh editor. It's not quite as versatile as for example Blender or something. You can, with that one you cannot build models from scratch, but you can import this model and start deforming it. You can do vertex painting with a brush. So there's a number of things you can already do. But there's also more things that are gonna come in the future, because we do wanna eventually get it to the level of where you can do the type of editing you do in Blender, where you can manipulate individual vertices of any object, quickly patch things, and even build your own tools. Because that's a big aspect of Resonite is implementing things in a way that gives everybody in the community power to like build on top of them.
So our next one is asking, so the packages will allow us to create content in Resonite like avatars and such and put it up on places like Gumroad?
Yes. Yes,
Yep,
that's pretty much like one of the main goals of them. It makes it very easy for like, if you like pretty much whatever you can build in Resonite, you can export into a Resonite package, which becomes a standard file, and that file contains everything that's needed. Like all the assets are in there, all the components, purple flags, like everything that's needed for the object is part of the file, so you don't need to rely on any cloud distribution. We can do whatever we want with that file. So we can like, put it on Gumroad, we can distribute it like, on Discord, like we can put it on your website, pretty much like whatever we want. And any user can like, just drag and drop the file and it'll import the object exactly as you set it up.
And if the avatar
so it makes it like very easy.
Yeah, and if the avatar had some unique functions or dynamic bones or all the little additional things that you would want on the avatar, it's going to be fully set up with that. Additionally, if you guys know content creators or makers on Gumroad and you see that they do not have a Resonite package, if you know them personally, get in contact with them and ask them to have them put those Resonite packages up and on there. The more that we have that, the more easier that's going to be for new users that come inside of here to just import those models immediately and quickly, and then it makes that process so much more smoother. So try to get the culture of Gumroad to start accepting Resonite packages, because we're willing here as the community to start helping those people to actually start bringing in those models and making them fully functional for them. And it's as simple as them just adding the Resonite packages to their Gumroad.
Next, we have Troyberg asking, are there plans to expand the tutorial world for new users? It's actually something like Aegis would like to answer that one.
So one of the things that Frux is working on currently with the data feeds is the world data feeds, and that will help us improve the Cloud Home and tutorial world with the ability for users to find sessions easier from the get-go.
Yes, that's one of the things like we kind of notice is like when users kind of come in, it's like they don't know like where to go, and like it's not clear for them, how to get into the worlds. So that's one of the reasons like we spend time focusing on the world data feed, so the content team can put something in the Cloud Home itself, which makes it very easy for the users to discover additional sessions, like join like users and kind of start learning more about the platform. Thank you.
But yeah, so I think that we can wrap up the stream. Is there anything that we should leave our viewers to know or leave them off with other than the update that we just did?
Well, just in general, like we appreciate like everybody's kind of support, like like using this platform, making a lot of cool stuff. We're like very like kind of community kind of focused, and like it always makes us kind of happy, when the community supports like what we do. The community is like what really makes this platform kind of come alive. So thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much, for playing Resonite, like enjoying the platform and making a lot of cool stuff.
And thank you for everyone who is here today. And again, congratulations to Zyro. They're amazing. Can't wait to see the things that they're going to be doing for the months ahead. And if you guys haven't already, please join our Discord, discord.gg/Resonite for more information about Resonite. And you can check out our edited version of this stream on our YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out on our YouTube as well as our socials for Twitter. And we will see you guys next time. Ta-ta for now.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next in the way.